Guys, what's up? Alright, so a little thing about this last piece. A lot of people have been asking about the materials. I have a couple posts in my previous posts do go through the material and a little bit of the process. It was a little too quick, but I'll try to simplify things here. So this is a lot of stuff that I've used before, mainly foam, and a lot of stuff that I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So the base is the typical foam, insulation foam. The next layer, I started to use paper mache. Pretty easy process. Built up the hill, got more or less a shape to really harden and solidify that. This is what I thought was going to be catastrophic, that I was going to have to like start over. I've never used injection foam, so I bought an aerosol can of injection foam. I filled up the paper mache base again to get it more rigid and hard. That thing, I put too much of it. That thing started to blow up like a freaking, I don't know what, man, volcano. Like shit started like popping all over the place, popping out. I thought I was gonna have to start over again, but at the end, I was able to kind of like cut little pieces here and there, do a little bit of surgery, made it work. Now this thing, that base of paper mache, was completely solid as a rock, which was fantastic. After that guy dried up, and I used something that I haven't used in the ever before, was air dry clay. I ended up getting a pretty decent clay. I tried using the Crayola one before to test, but that didn't work too good, and especially I wanted longevity in this piece, so I used a little bit of a better air dry clay. You can find it in any art store, arts and crafts store, whatever. I did a layer of that. Then after that, I used basically Old Faithful, the old plastic fork. I ripped off, they have 4 prongs. I ripped off one of them. I used the 3 prong to get kind of like this texture and typical kind of Tim Burton-y style, undulated texturing and stuff like that you see in the movies, and you see in all, in a lot of his brand and, the stuff that they do. So once that hardened, then it was the typical paint stuff of, dry brushing, shade, shadowing, all that good stuff. The pillars are made out of foam, all those guys, the same exact thing. Standard process with the pillars, that foam works really great for kind of banging up and doing a lot of things to it, and it retains the memory of whatever you do to it. So fantastic thing to use for like rectilinear pieces and things like that are not too organic. So again, that's the pink foam that I use for the pillars. Something that I cannot at this point recommend enough is a 3D pen. I was really skeptical with the 3D pen because I've seen some of the stuff that's produced. The beauty is I'm doing Halloween Town. I'm doing Halloween stuff, so all of this weird snaking and welding, nasty welding looking stuff works to my advantage in this case. It just really made everything look super Halloweeny, like the fenestration, the actual gate itself. Like, I mean, look at all this stuff. Like, once you paint it and dry brush it, use some shading, I mean, it just really pops and looks like, the worst welder in the universe made this gate, which is like fantastic. It's great. It worked to its advantages. And then the awesomeness that comes out once you start dry brushing and painting it up and making things pop and weathering a little bit with all the shades and stuff like that. This was just coming out really cool. So the 3D pen, again, is something that you can utilize for a lot of things, especially if you get the hang of it and kind of how to smooth things out. And again, I've seen people do awesome stuff, but for this particular instance, to me, this was really cool, and it kind of made that Halloweeny pop. I don't know whatever term I could use, but it looks Halloweeny. All right, so that's pretty much it.